It's 8 a.m. on a Monday, so you drag yourself out of bed, walk to the washroom, and notice something shocking. Your entire face has changed. This is exactly what's happening in the latest Roblox update, with every single static face being removed and changed into dynamic ones. Now at first, you might think, what's the big deal? After all, who really cares if your Roblox avatar blinks or opens their mouth once in a while? However, these changes also apply to Roblox's classic faces that have been around for decades, and if you start looking closer, the changes only start getting worse and worse. This single Roblox update has led to hundreds of UGC creators losing their jobs, billions of Robux being wiped from the trading market, and massive community outrage.
What is the benefit of removing all the classic faces? I can't think of a single thing.
So what on earth is going on here? What was the Roblox CEO's response to this controversy? What's the actual secret reason for pushing this update out? And what methods are the Roblox community using to bypass this update? To find out, we first have to understand what dynamic heads are. Alright, so normally on Roblox, we have these things called static heads, which don't move at all in-game. The face basically stays still the entire time. And these classic static faces have a long history on Roblox. They were first available in 2010. And among these faces lies some absolute classics like the epic face, the yum face, the know-it-all grin, and the squiggle mouth. However, Roblox has just announced a new policy that forces all avatar heads to support animated facial expressions, and they're applying it to all the existing heads too, including the classic faces that we just talked about. Now, Roblox has tried to mask this change as empowering your self-expression on Roblox. This is powered by you, the global creator community. They're trying to paint this change out like it'll help Roblox players better express themselves in Roblox, and is intended to provide players with a canvas for identity and build a consistent foundation for the next generation of avatar features. Now keep this next generation in mind because we'll have to talk about that later. But starting March 3rd, 2026, which is literally in a month from now, existing heads that have not been updated to fit these dynamic head standards like responding to blink and mouth open and close animations will be taken off sale. You won't be able to buy these heads anymore. And as you can see from the responses on this forum, literally no one likes this change at all.
We want to empower you to let users express themselves however they want. That's why we're removing their ability to wear classic faces. Am I stupid? Because that makes zero sense. Whoever approved this, are you dumb?
The audacity of this post is insane. Roblox is completely out of touch with their audience. Now you might be wondering, what's the big deal? I mean, these heads just need, blink and mouth open / close animations. Like there surely isn't that much of a difference, right? Until you start looking at the changes. So here we can see some examples from Roblox about the classic and dynamic head comparison, the classic being the OG and the dynamic being the new one. And although Roblox said they would look kind of the same, they clearly don't at all. First off, there's a lot of inconsistencies between the old smiles versus the new ones in terms of the thickness and the placement. They've also just completely messed up other ones. Look at this. Look at the teeth comparison. There isn't even a gap. And other ones are just completely off. For example, the pie face jelly freckles doesn't even have the same orange particles. They're completely different and the mouth is just completely off position. The worst one by far though has to be the prankster. Like what even is this?
Bro, this is not the same. It's literally not the same face. Yeah, that's not the same face. They changed it to make it look more accurate. Wait, what?
And because of these new changes with the dynamic heads, all of the original static classic faces are now just losing millions of dollars of value. The super happy face by far lost the most. It went from 300k to 250k Robux. Overall in the entire market, it lost 1.5 billion Robux. Another face, the yum face, lost 120,000 Robux worth of value. And this is so unfortunate, but this update dropped January 27th, and only like a week before that, Sir Pro Gamer decided to finally lock in and buy all the classic remaining faces he didn't own, which is just absolutely tragic timing. Here's another person, Waffle Trades, who says, I have over 1 million Robux, $3,800 USD, invested into classic faces. I am terrified. And yeah, unfortunately, the price has just dipped tragically. And this is just one of the many limited faces that have dropped 10 to 20% in value due to the changes being made. Another huge reason for people hating on this update is the difference between the old Roblox head versus the new dynamic one. If we take a closer inspection, we can see that there are so many more polygons in this new one that could be very bad for optimization and performance of games on Roblox, especially for people playing on older phones that already struggle to play Roblox on minimum graphics. Now, the biggest question on everyone's mind is why? Why are they doing this?
There is no positive to this. It's all negative. It is all negative. Just let people have both faces. I don't understand.
If we look at the pros and cons of removing classic faces and replacing them with dynamic ones, basically everyone's against it. They look worse. They don't match the original versions. Since dynamic heads are animated and move, they might make the in-game performance significantly worse. UGC creators who create and sell these classic faces will have their livelihoods and income ruined. Roblox's identity is erased. Even after this update, the Roblox stock still went down, and a lot of people are being turned away from Roblox because of these random, meaningless, and honestly harmful updates. Now, if we look at the pros, there's literally none. Just listen to the community for once in your damn life and cancel this update already. No one wants it, it benefits no one, does not improve or enhance the site or game in any way, and has no good reason to be a thing. Now, David Baszucki, the CEO of Roblox, has actually come out and done a video response to this, and of course it's being absolutely community noted. Now, David says that there will be a one-to-one match between the old classic heads and the new ones.
We're going for visual parity and a one-to-one match. We're sharing side by side the look of every classic head with the new dynamic head. Our goal is they should look identical.
Obviously, we can see that that's not the case right now at all. Alright, hi, Editing Vault here. Somehow it's only gotten worse. Just today, brand new comparisons came out, and this is the current revision of the woman face. The classic face now looks like an alien. My mom was able to point out the difference, and she doesn't even play Roblox. So yeah, David Baszucki is absolutely lying in these videos. They are not one-to-one at all. He also says that there's going to be some like serial number matching between the old items and the new ones.
We are mapping one-to-one the serial numbers from classic faces to new classic dynamic heads.
But here's the weirdest part. At the very end of the video, he talks about how this new change will help Roblox move to a new unified avatar system.
Behind the scenes, this work is allowing us to move to a unified avatar system
to unlock absolutely riveting advanced customization like
makeup for every head and face.
No one asked for this, by the way. I feel like the majority of Roblox players would prefer keeping their old classic heads rather than having the ability to put these like makeup things on their face, bro. It just seems so out of touch. Barely anyone even uses these modern Roblox characters. But that brings us to the theory of why Roblox is doing this in the first place. And I think the main reason they're pushing this so hard is because David Baszucki and the investors have consistently been pushing for Roblox as some sort of online metaverse. This idea dated back all the way to 2021, and from this image you can already tell this is completely different from Roblox as we know it right now. This is more like corporate Roblox. This looks like a professional version of Roblox that you hardly ever see in Roblox games right now. But if we scroll through this old metaverse article, it becomes a lot more clear as to why Roblox is pushing for these dynamic heads in the first place. And it mainly comes down to their three fundamental principles of Roblox as a metaverse. They talk about how they want Roblox to have communication capabilities that must be rooted in the ways we communicate in the real world, especially when in an immersive 3D experience. For example, we raise our voice to reach someone far away, we whisper when we wish to be discreet, and here's the most important part, we use gestures and facial expressions to add nuance and emotion to our words. Now obviously, if you have a static head like me, there's really only one facial expression you can really emit, right? And that goes completely against their communication in the metaverse ideology, where Roblox's future of communication is just like the real world with facial expressions, gestures. Basically, when you're in an experience on Roblox, they envision that you will be able to communicate with others in the experience in the same way you speak with someone at the park, and you just can't do that with static faces. They want three-way conversations, uninterrupted, seamless communication from experience to experience, and most importantly, they want it to be immersive. And I guess this is Roblox's new idea of immersion, dynamic faces. And finally, their last pillar is civil and safety on the platform. I'm not even gonna talk about this. You probably already know how that's going.
Like, if Roblox's goal with this update is to off the entire community, well, congratulations, you did it. And like lately, it seems like that's the majority of Roblox's updates. Is it to make everyone mad? Well, congratulations, you're doing a really good job at that.
Now, if this situation couldn't get any worse, there are also hints of Roblox removing something else from the game. The classic R6 body type. Back in 2022, there were leaked Roblox internal documents, and under strategy, they said sunset R6 phase 1 by basically removing the player-facing R6 option and converting all the top R6 experiences to R15, which is basically the new Roblox body type with 15 joints instead of 6. Now, of course, these body types are controversial. Some people like them, some people don't. Some people prefer the old blocky style. People also have concerns about this because R15 is known to be buggy when you convert it. The movement and everything else is just kind of janky when you convert it over. But up till right now, it was fine because you could just choose whichever one you liked. But with these leaked Roblox documents, along with David's talk about the one unified Roblox avatar system, there might actually be a possibility that the R6 body type is next up on the Roblox removal list after they remove these classic static faces. And to back this up even further, in a Q2 2022 earnings call, David Baszucki says this: the final one that you're going to see rolling out is avatars themselves being created by our community as well, and that will bring us full circle and you'll see an amazing new look. Now, what will that amazing new look like? Well, the future is that everyone has a hyper-realistic avatar. It looks just like them. Quick update to the R6 situation. Roblox has now said they are not removing R6, and they've even posted an official video saying that R6 avatars and 2D clothing are not going away. They say in this video that R6 is a core part of Roblox DNA, and they'll keep supporting that classic feel. If this post is generally true, then, you know, big ups to Roblox. However, other people have also raised the concern on whether to trust Roblox on this or not. Back on October 2025, Roblox staff made a statement on classic faces, saying that some of these faces are over 15 years old, and because of their age, we will be preserving them in their original state rather than modifying them. And it's only been a couple of months, but that's clearly not the case anymore. And there's also been a history of Roblox saying something and then just completely switching up later.
Less than 3 years ago, Roblox announced this. Roblox is adding the ability to disable dynamic heads and revert back to the classic face. GG, classic faces are safe. They're like, hey, look, it's fine. It's cool, guys, don't worry. We're not removing classic faces. And here we are 2.5 years later, you're removing classic faces. So did you lie? Did you change your mind? Like, what is it?
So I generally hope they're not removing R6, but it's really up to you on whether or not, you know, you trust Roblox. Roblox probably wants to force your avatars to look like this, Lamau. The future of the metaverse right here. This is actually so goofy. No one uses these, by the way. Not a single Roblox player I know pulls up in the R-throw, okay? Like, I mean, we're just one step away from Roblox looking like Mark Zuckerberg's metaverse at this point. And this update has been received so poorly that there's actually some hexing going on Twitter. Safe to say that the Roblox community is not taking it well. But if there was one good thing that came out of this, it was definitely the exceptional display of the Roblox community. First off, people have already begun backing up the files of the classic Roblox heads, but they're also going a step further and just doing Roblox's job for them. For example, this user says, why can't you do something like this? And they made their own concept of a 2D/3D toggle where you can switch between the classic static faces versus the 3D dynamic faces that Roblox wants to push so much. Other people are also making workarounds to still upload static heads onto Roblox despite the dynamic head requirements. It looks like they're getting around this by using actual dynamic eyes and a mouth, but hiding it in the head so that it's only visible from the back. This is absolutely insane and super creative. And other users are making facial unification, which converts dynamic faces back into their original 2D variant. Now, Roblox did take this down for no reason aside from misusing Roblox systems, but then they put it back up and it's now live again on their creator store, which is really puzzling. Like, if they know this is an issue and people are making workarounds to it, why not just address the actual issue instead of taking this workaround down and then putting it back up? Like, it makes no sense. And this change has been so bad that even older Roblox players like Linkmon99 and Simon, the wealthiest player on Roblox, has come out to share some thoughts about this update. First off, Linkmon says, hey Roblox, before you cook classic faces, one of your most desirable and memorable features, consider answering this. When 99% of the feedback is negative and 1% is neutral, you know something's wrong, especially when it's coming from the creators on your platform. Classic faces are a form of expression and an art style, especially for all of us who have grown up using them for the past 20 years on Roblox. Removing them is a limiting expression and you know it. There's no satisfactory reason why classic heads and faces cannot remain alongside the new dynamic feature. At the very least, they should be preserved one-to-one under the dynamic head category. However, the images that you show above do not support this, as they do not look the same. The new versions of the faces look stretched, lower quality, and simply unattractive. So why can't the static animation version preserve the original classic face one-to-one? Additionally, there's also concerns about how Roblox would remain parity with the current limited faces like the super happy face that can be traded and sold. Currently, we don't know how this update would impact these limiteds, but if they switch the type from face to dynamic head, there could be years of sales data, owner IDs, and history tied to them just completely wiped. Above all, some of these faces are selling for hundreds, thousands, or even tens of thousands of US dollars. So there are legitimate financial repercussions for Roblox if this is not handled correctly. And Simon says something similar. The main concerns are that the dynamic heads look visually different, aka uncanny. Millions of players have paid specifically for 2D faces and not for the dynamic heads, and millions of players have also paid for limited 2D faces to trade, and they now face massive value volatility. If Roblox is so obsessed with self-expression, then why can't we continue to use the 2D faces we've been using for almost 20 years alongside the dynamic heads? Just jump into any server of catalog avatar creator. Roblox is America's #1 self-expression experience and study how many people are using dynamic heads versus the classic 2D faces. Over 90% of my friends/connections aren't using dynamic heads. They want to use classic faces. So why are you forcing this on everyone? Surely the fair solution here would to be introduce a simple switch that enables the user to toggle between dynamic heads and classic faces while preserving the legacy faces and heads the platform is globally known and loved for throughout the last 2 decades. The backlash for this is very similar to the new Coke campaign that nearly killed Coca-Cola in the 80s. This Coca-Cola update, which involved a new flavor, is now called the biggest marketing blunder of all time. They changed the 99-year-old flavor formula of their soda and instantly pissed off millions of customers. The solution was simple. It was just to bring the old flavor back. So what are your thoughts on this new Roblox dynamic head update? Please let me know your thoughts in the comments below and subscribe for more Roblox Explained.